remember us from last year. This is our second year doing this. My name's Alex. It's nice to meet you.
My name is Mike Rogers.
My name is Lee Hartley.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to focus on the fact that you guys are here tonight. You know, when we do things in life, you know, we're not that different. We're very similar to you. We just might do things a little bit different, and we kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. Well, maybe we'll start out with Alex.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you do things.
So, you know, for me, you know, every person with a disability is a little different in how we navigate the world and how we do things. For me, I walk on crutches quite a lot. Actually, that's my main means of getting around in the world. For the most part, I live a pretty average life in the sense that all I do really differently is walk on crutches. You know, I would say that some of my challenges are when it's icy or when it's muddy or when it's wet outside. That can be a bit of a challenge simply because things are more slippery and it makes it harder to walk in that way. Beyond that, you know, the things that I do a bit differently in the sense you know, I'll cook. I do a lot of cooking differently. I have a whole setup in my kitchen where I have a rolly chair where I can kind of navigate back and forth. And when I move things from room to room, I'll usually slide it across the floor instead of carrying it because it's hard for me to carry things and walk from one place to another. Beyond that, I am pretty independent and I do a lot of things on my own. Yeah, it's really cool for me because one of the big things in my life is problem solving. I'm constantly problem solving. How do I do this? How do I do this for myself? And by virtue of my life and the way that I was raised was a lot of answering the question of how do I do this? So that's kind of how I do things in life.
So, Alex, let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question.
Go for it.
So a lot of people talk about walking and not walking. You know, you use crutches. I use crutches too. I did not bring them tonight because I didn't want to carry all this stuff around. Besides, I got him to show it. So, would you consider yourself a person that can walk or not?
I would consider myself extremely mobile.
You're mobile.
So I think I see what you're trying to do there, but you know, we're all mobile in our own way. I would just consider myself to be mobile in the sense that I'm on crutches.
See, when I walk on my crutches, I just consider myself a person that walks differently. You know, I'm up and I'm walking around, but I still have a disability, and then that's okay. What I want to do is I just got a bunch of junk from my house. I brought it tonight.
He's throwing stuff on the floor, y'all.
Throwing stuff on the floor.
That's not...
Now, let me ask you a question. If I wanted to pick that up from this wheelchair, you think it would be easy or safe for me to bend over and do that?
No.
No. So, what other little crap did I bring tonight? I don't remember. Let's see.
Oh, dog.
I'm like Santa, but without gifts. Let's see. Here we go.
Why do everything in a spray bottle?
Good question. Why is everything in a spray bottle?
Medicine, stickers.
Okay. These are old glasses.
Hi, guys.
What the?
Dude, be careful. You're going to break
You
them.
missed the whole
I
video?
don't need them. Okay. So,
How about any toys?
I didn't bring any toys. Didn't want to
Mary
do all
Poppins in
that.
that bag.
Let me see. Right now. See? You have to problem solve. I don't know where the end of the thing is. Hold on a second. This bag is the best thing in the world. Hold on.
Can't be right there.
That's great.
It's stuck. Hold on. There's a-
Would you like some help, Mike?
Where did it go?
I don't know.
Let's see. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay.
All right. So this is a grabber that folds, and so it's more portable.
Ooh.
Right. So what you do is you let's see. Let me make sure I got it right. You put it in the little hole. This. The thing. I always in trouble with this. You gotta be patient. Almost there. There we go. And then you use this to pick things up. Does anybody want to try? All right. So what I want you to do is when I call you, say your name because I don't remember everybody's name, and then you can try. We'll start over here.
Lincoln.
Lincoln, I remember you. All right. You want to try? Now you don't bend down. You act like you can't do that. You gotta use the thing. Pick up whatever you want. And then you can put it in the bag or whatever you want to do. And see, that makes it easy. And they all come in like different lengths. They can be longer, shorter. Although I get a bunch of them because I ordered a bunch and they said they wouldn't come in for 6 months. So they didn't charge me. So I got double the order. So I got like 10 of them.
That's awesome.
And stuff like that. So does anybody else want to try? Okay. We'll go in order. What's your name? Hi, Ian. But we're gonna have to throw. I didn't bring that much stuff, so I'll have to throw it on the ground again.
I got
All right.
Like these.
We can tip Lee over and try to pick them up.
Here.
No, we won't do that.
You can pick up my keys too.
Oh yeah, his keys.
Make a real life example. There you go.
Hey, keys.
You can do whatever you want. What's your name?
Blue.
There we go.
This
Ellie?
is the fun part.
Ooh, you got some hardwood.
He's going for
Okay,
hardwood.
so that's actually a question, Mike. So if you're in the position where you're picking up these Post-its, and they're rather difficult,
Yeah.
how would you go about that? If you're coming at it from a different angle.
Well, what you do, I'll show you when people get done trying. I'll
Yeah.
show you. Go on. What's your name?
Nicholas.
Hi, Nicholas. Try something. Give him back his keys. We don't want to lose those. Up.
You got them. Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, what's next? Okay. Well, and then we'll tell you a little bit more about it. So, but I wanted to give you guys a chance to do stuff. So, what's your name?
Nicholas.
No, Nicholas again.
Two Nicholas.
Very cool.
I don't try to confuse me now. Double Nicholases. Go ahead, try it. What?
Nikolai?
Nikolai?
That's funny.
Nikolai.
Plural.
Well, there's two of them, so that would be plural. One Nicholas, two Nikolai.
I gotta remember what stuff is mine now because I'm picking up other stuff. All right. Okay. Who's next?
Me.
Well, who's me? What's your name?
His name is called Hunter.
Okay, Hunter. Very good. Very
Like you hunt around.
Yes.
You have
Okay.
glue.
So that's the glue. I don't know
I
if I
can
want to
eat glue.
touch that, but it looks kind of old. But
It's okay. Put that here.
okay, who's the next person?
Trevor.
Trevor.
Rob.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Skibby.
Awesome.
Whoa. Fell apart. Oh, try to put it back in. There we go. So sometimes they don't work all that great, but they're pretty good. Who's next?
Snow? I don't want He doesn't want to do it.
That's okay. We're all free people. We don't always have to do everything other people want. That's okay.
Yeah, what's your name?
Literally.
What's your name?
My name is Brody.
Yeah, nice to meet
Brody.
you, Brody.
Very good, very good.
Play bendings.
All right. Those are eye drops that I don't use anymore.
Right.
Put it in here. See how good you are. There we
There you
go.
go.
All right. So Alex wanted me to say how I show how I do it. Well, if I was to pick up something small, because I got a new wheelchair. So what I would do is, first of all, can I have that? Please, thank you. All right. What I would do is I didn't used to have these big arms in the way. So what I would do is, oh my God, here I go with the flipping. And I flip this up so it's out of the way. And then I should use a longer one, but I could do this.
Uh-huh.
See? See how good I am? I'm not that good, guys.
He's gonna
Practically perfect.
That's it. There we go.
Here you go.
See, so it makes it easier when you drive. The really hard thing is trying to pick up a cell phone.
Oh.
If you drop your phone, that's really.
Can I touch you? I won't. I won't.
Yeah, you could, but it would maybe take me about 15 minutes. Because they slide around and they don't like to do it. So we really want to show you that the stuff we use and the things that we do are just the way we live our life. I got a little bit of a story. This is part of my story. We came down here on an elevator. Everybody here, does everybody know how an elevator works?
I know.
Okay? All right, I don't remember people's names, but I'll point at you. I'm not doing this to be rude. How does the elevator work?
Me?
Yeah.
Like it carries people down and up. Down
Okay. All right. So, okay, go on.
And up. So you press a button and then it will go down or up.
Goes down and up. Well, I'm going to tell you a story. So I went to the doctor a few weeks ago, right?
Like the video on the TV.
What? Oh, no. We'll
get
get
to
to
that.
that in a second.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor a few weeks ago, and I was waiting with a lady, and she was trying to tell me, a grown-up, how an elevator works. She said the elevator goes up and down, and people come out. She thought in her mind that because, I mean, she didn't say this, because people won't always say what they think. She thought in my mind that because I had a disability, I didn't know how an elevator works. Do you think that's right to think before you ask somebody what they think? Do you think that's right, or do you think that people should talk to you first? What do you guys think? Talk, yeah. She didn't talk to me. So when she told me the elevator goes from floor 4 to floor 1 and people come out, I kind of was like, thank you. But I didn't know, I didn't say it too nice. I wanted her to know that she shouldn't be thinking things before asking. Because that means you think you know a person before you talk to them. You should always talk to somebody before you think things about them. That'll help you in school, that'll help you with your friends. Because if you do that, you'll like people a lot better. Do you think I liked when she did that? No, right? But I was nice because you don't get to know people if you're mean to them, just because they might not understand. She probably didn't understand that I already knew that, right? So we always got to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely. Also, one thing I want to mention before we move on, something we didn't mention before, is that Mike and I actually have the same disability. Mike and I have the same
Yes.
disability, but as you can see, it affects us differently. It's important to know that because with every person with a disability, it's going to affect them differently. So,
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, Lee. Hello, welcome in.
I am a survivor of a TBI, traumatic brain injury, that I sustained at age 10.
So you had something happen to your brain that made you have a disability. Me and Alex had something happen to our brains that made us have disability. We have something called cerebral palsy, and you often get that by when your brain gets, it doesn't have enough oxygen. Right? So your brain needs oxygen to grow at your body, and it needs all that. The oxygen is like the food to our bodies, right? So when we get run out of that, for a while your brain goes, and our brain went for a while when we were born, and because of that we have like stiff legs, and like if you go to try to bend my legs, they're very hard to bend and stuff like that. That's why we go to PT and different stuff like that. What does your CP do, Alex?
So for me, the messages between my brain and my muscles don't always coordinate. So when I move my arm, other muscles might activate as well, and that causes me to move in certain ways that are not always intentional, or are not always on purpose. I also have tight muscles as well, so occasionally I need to stretch. And I stretch every day. I work out every day, I exercise, because I need to stay flexible and functional. So I work out every day, and it helps me live my life to the best of my ability, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a spastic quadriplegic due to head trauma.
So that means that, if you don't mind me saying, Lee, it means that Lee is spastic in all 4 limbs of his body.
Yeah, both his arms and his leg has muscle difficulties.
Yep.
And I'm a spastic quadriplegic person with CP.
As am I.
Which means it affects all my limbs, right?
Yep.
Now I see some people here that wear glasses, that have long hair, short hair. Some people have ponytails. Is it good that we all are kind of different? Is that a good thing, right? Because we wouldn't all want to look the same. Because if we all look the same, it'd be kind of boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So disability, in a long time ago, there were, when the world first began, there were people with disabilities. There are people with disabilities today like us. There's going to be people with disabilities tomorrow. It's okay to have a disability, right? Some people think that's bad, and they can have their opinions, right? But we think disability can be very positive, because we get to experience things like ramps and elevators, and we get to teach adults that we have to accept people, and our other students in our schools, we need to accept people and support them if they have challenges. Right? What do you want to say, Lee? Oh, Lee wanted to say, is it okay if I translate for you? Okay. I always ask Lee because I don't speak for Lee. I help him translate. I am not Lee's voice. I'm not a ventriloquist. I don't make his arms go up and down and stuff like that. He's an adult. I ask him if he wants me to do that. So, he wants me to let you know that people with disabilities used to be in these big buildings called institutions. They were let me put it this way. If we were all in this room and we have put all our beds in this room and never left this room, would that be good or bad?
Yeah.
That would be bad, right? Because it'd be boring. You know, I mean, people wouldn't be able to live and learn, right? So back in the 1960s, way back in the past, maybe not for some of your parents, but way back in the past, you know, people like Lee, like Alex and myself, we would be in those institutes because they didn't have accessible houses. They didn't have accessible schools. But people like us said, no, that's not right. And we said we need to be out in the community or in the world, just like you. We said to people, no, we need these services. Like, we live in different situations. Lee, if you don't mind my asking, now you live in a house with some other people, right? Called a group home, right? Right? So Lee gets help. People come in to the group home and they help him. And, you know, he gets to make choices in his own life though, but he lives with other people. Now, myself, I live with a roommate in an apartment in Buffalo. So I have staff that comes in because I have CP, I need some help. Like, for example, I need help taking a shower because, you know, not everything is fully accessible. I don't have an AI robot coming in and doing that stuff. So I have somebody that, not yet. I have a lady that comes in and does that for me, and that's okay because I get to make my own choices and stuff like that. I also help with some cooking. I can do some cooking, but some I can't do. I would burn myself and I'd be in the hospital. So we don't want that. So they help me with that. They also help me to get dressed also because some of the stuff that I can't do. And all of this is okay. Do all of you do everything by yourself, or does your mom or dad or your parents help you with some stuff? You get help, and that's okay to get help.
Yeah.
That's okay to get help. So some of your parents are here. So a story I like to tell is, well, I like to use this idea. So, and some of you may be hunters, so bear with me, okay? All right. So anyway, how many people here grow all of their own vegetables? Okay. How many people go get their ground beef from a buffalo and shoot the buffalo? Okay. Nobody. Where do you get it from? Where do you think your parents get the food from?
The grocery store.
The grocery store. That means that somebody else puts the food there and put it in a cute little wrappers, and you go to get it at the grocery store. We depend or we count on other people. Like if the car gets a problem, you take it to a mechanic. We all count on other people. Sometimes people don't think that way, but people with disabilities are just like anybody else. Yeah, we have some challenges, and we might need your help sometimes, but that's okay. So, what do you need help with, Alex?
For me, one of the things I need help with is when I have laundry that I need to do, and I need to have so I don't have a washer and dryer in my apartment. So I have to ask somebody for help to help me put the laundry in the car, to take it to the laundromat to wash the clothes. And so that's one of the things that I need help with. Another thing that I need help with, especially in the colder months.
I am a graduate of Edinburgh.
You're good, man. One of the other things I need help with, when in the colder months, is taking the garbage out, because taking the garbage out can be very dangerous when it's very slippery for me. So I get help with that as well.
Okay. Lee, you're using your assistive speaking device there, what we call a computer. You know, so tell us a little bit about what you were gonna say. And we're patient while we types.
Usually.
I need a lot of help.
Okay. Did you want to say what you need help with?
Just some things.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you want to go there. Lee needs help when he goes to the bathroom. You know, I mean, I want you to think about it for a second. What if you needed help going to the bathroom, right? Some people are embarrassed by that. They go, oh, how do you do that? Lee, is it important for you to go to the bathroom? Do you think there'd be a problem if Lee didn't go to the bathroom? Right? There'd be a big problem. You can think about in your mind what that would be. Right? So we use the bathroom just like anybody else. We also go out just like anybody else. What are some things you like to do, Alex? Look at our time here.
As far as going out goes, I love to go for walks. I love to go to bookstores and movies and things like that. I'm very, very mobile in the world, and I use Uber and Lyft to get around a lot of those ways. Whereas a lot of people with disabilities may not be able to do that. So again, it varies to what we can do in that regard.
I like to go to festivals in the summertime. I make people laugh. I'm a comedian. So I'm gonna be doing some of that this summer. I'm gonna go to comedy clubs and invite people. I'm gonna try to do some things where they listen to me, make them laugh. I like dressing up for like Halloween. One year I was a Bluetooth, and I said, "Connect to me." So that people could get to know me, but I looked like a tooth.
That's great.
It wasn't just like a cord.
You were a Bluetooth.
I was a Bluetooth. So that was very important. You know, it's fun to make people laugh. It's fun to be a part of a community.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have Jim bring up our website in a minute so you can see some of the stuff that Outside the Box Associates does with people.
Do you also want to do the videos?
Yes. So you get an idea of what one of us does on a regular basis. We're gonna show a video I made yesterday of me doing a couple of things.
Which one do you want?
Either one. It's up to you. I'm not picky.
Well, we were just talking about going to the bathroom. So.
Yeah. I spend a lot of my time talking about going to the bathroom. I think it's cool. Okay, everybody. So I'm going to show you how I get on the bathroom. So I come in like this. I maneuver my chair a little bit, like over to the corner here. I come up to the wall, and I pull the foot pillows back so that they're not as much in my way. And then what I do is I move the back of the chair up so I can grab the bar. And I move the controller out of the way, and I just pivot myself over to the toilet and go like this. Now, you can imagine what happens in real life. I didn't do that for the video. Then I do my business like anybody else, and I sit back down, and I then have to get back in the chair. So how do I do that? I move myself where I can tip back. Sometimes I knock things over, but I tip the chair back. It's kind of taller than me a little bit. And I'm kind of short, so I have to make the back of the chair go down so that I can pivot into the chair. And I do that. And then I will get my feet back on the foot pedals. And then I will turn around. Gotta be patient, right? Gotta be patient. So you turn around, go slow, because you don't want to knock everything and break everything and damage all the walls. And there you go.
Wow.
You have to put your seatbelt back on.
All right.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I can.
Safety first, Mike.
You got a question?
How do you go in your bed?
That's a good question.
Well, isn't that something? Because that's the next video.
Whoa.
All right, everybody, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I get in the bed. Now, the safest way for me to do this is to kind of twist myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, push up my armrest here. So I go like this. Well, I go like that.
Hang on, rest.
And then I'm gonna kind of pivot myself or twist myself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do this. This side. Put it there. Then I use this. Push up. Lay arms. Right? And I go like this. And then I pull out myself like that. Wow. Yay! And I get out and I just do it the opposite way. That's how I do it.
Do that.
Got a couple questions? Okay.
Yeah.
Here?
How do you get out of bed?
That was my question too, actually.
Well, what I do, I'm not gonna show that to you here because if I slip on the floor, then Jim is gonna have to pick me up.
I would laugh.
But I basically see. I'll give a little thing here. See how I'm
Play it
by,
backwards.
how I'm by how I'm by the bed there. I just stand up by the chair and I twist back the other way. And just like I got in when I was in the bathroom, I just tip back the chair and I just slide back in.
So do you grab the armrest and then pull yourself back?
No, I do not grab the armrest because over the many years of doing this, when you grab the armrest like that, you break them.
Got it.
So I move the armrest out of the way.
Got it. Okay.
Question?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
How do you get changed?
Change. Ah. You mean
Get dressed.
different clothes on.
Uh-huh.
Well, we don't like to say change because that's kind of like a baby. What we say in the disabled world sometimes is transition. We get transitioned into other clothes because we're not babies, right? So we don't get changed, right? So I have somebody that comes in and helps me do that. She helps me, put my clothes on and take my clothes off because sometimes that's difficult for me. So she helps me with that.
Yeah.
Question? Okay.
How do you get in your car?
How do you get in the car? Well, there's many ways I can do that. I do have a vehicle, I do have a van, and so that has a ramp. But I can also get on my crutches, and you know how I pivoted there? I can pivot into a seat, just like Mr. Alex does. So I can do either way. But most of the time I try to do what's easier for the people that are helping me. So,
Also, we should mention as well that Mike's van is a special van as well.
Yeah, I have a ramp,
Yeah.
and I have hand controls and stuff like that.
So his car actually, so the way his car works, he actually has, instead of the gas and the brake being at the bottom where your feet are, they're actually up by the steering wheel. So they control them that way.
I should have made a video of that, but I did not think of that. But that's very.
Notes for next year. It's okay.
We can show you again. Lee, I have a question for you. How do you get into bed? I have left. So, Lee, and we do have the internet, so you might, if you want to look up career messages.
Yeah, he's got the, may I? Okay. This is actually Mr. Lee's sling. It has all these little loops on it. In his apartment, he has a track that goes from one room to the next. It's mounted to the ceiling. And there's a lift, which is a little motor. So when Mr. Lee needs to get up in the morning, or or go to the bathroom, or take a shower, or get in and out of his chair, he's got staff at his house which will take the 4, 5, 6 points of this lift, and they literally lift him up and use the track to move him around the room where he needs to go. Maybe it's the shower, maybe it's the bathroom, maybe it's getting in and out of his chair. So Mr. Lee needs a little bit more help than Mr. Mike and Mr. Alex. So,
And that's okay. In the hospital, they use that kind of lift for me because they don't want me falling. So, and that's okay, right? That's okay. Now, some people, okay, go on. Lee says that he's not as strong as me and Alex. Yeah. We're all different, right? Because a lot of people think everybody with a disability is the same, and we're not. We don't even think the same, right?
And I will also say that strength comes in many ways. Just because Lee can't do that doesn't mean Lee can't do other things. Lee can do a lot of other things as well. So there's a variety of ways to look at that as well.
It's not all about being physical, doing physical.
Entirely.
Yeah. So, we wanted to show people that here, and outside the box, I'll get to you in 1 second. And outside the box, we like to go out in the world as well. And while we answer your question, Mr. Jim is going to pull up our website.
where's that video?
Some video.
Did
What
we put
video?
that up somewhere?
It's on our website.
The video from last year's hike?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it should be up there.
Yeah.
If it's not,
it's
we
up
can look
there.
it up on YouTube.
No, it's up there.
It's it.
I embedded it. So you had a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Me?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Oh,
Okay. That's okay too. Do any of our parents have any questions? It's not just about the kids.
Well,
Yeah,
you
bring
spend
it.
a lot of time in scooters, right?
Yes.
To get around. And I know, obviously, if you're in a wheelchair or a scooter, you're probably susceptible to bed sores and that type of thing, right?
You can be, yes. That's why usually you have people watch out for that. Like when you take a shower, that they'll see if you see anything. Or generally you want to try to avoid that by repositioning, or there's other ways, but there's kids here, so I don't want to get too.
Okay.
Making sure that you don't wear hot clothing to go to bed. Like, use your imagination there.
What's up, Nick?
You have a question?
How do you get the brain thing?
Wow, that's a good question. So my brain thing, I love that by the way. Well, when my mom was pregnant, with like you see a little baby over there, lovely little baby. The cord that I'm trying to. The cord that gives all the vitamins and power to the baby is attached to the mommy. I'm not good at this, guys, so bear with me. And that, I think, got wrapped around my neck. And I didn't get it cut off the air. I believe my mom didn't really want to talk about that, but I believe that's what happened. And I came out with these superpowers. So one of the things we do is we think people without disabilities, like some of you, should be with us, people with disabilities, more than they are. Because we all live on the earth together, right? Do you think we should be separate all the time? No, that's not right. So what we do is we do nature walks where we just invite the community to come with us and experience things together.
I love the sound of that. I say this portion is the height. Scare the Jesus out of me. Those chairs are about 400 or 500 pounds.
Wait. Well, after that, I want you to say that. We'll talk about that for a second.
So they're in the process of fixing a lot of that pathway, but some of it's pretty rickety.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't say no. Really don't want you to do this. The water was only 2 feet deep.
learning the hard way, just like 10 years of distribution. So, I'm doing it. Yeah, well, I have to be careful because in there,
Oh, you gotta let it play to the end, Jim. You gotta let it play to the end.
So what did you guys think of that? Anything come to you?
yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, it's
Give me a soundtrack.
So what do you guys think of that? What did you guys, when you look at that, what do you think? Anything come to your mind?
They're just cool, and I like the music.
Like the music? Well, he added the video, so he put the music in there.
Thank you.
So he was very, very good. And you guys are welcome to come with, an adult, of course. We're gonna do about 3 of these. So,
Yeah, you guys want to do one of these hikes?
Yes, yes, yeah.
No?
no.
You don't have to.
Because my legs always get tired.
Well,
That does happen.
that's okay.
We do take breaks.
We take breaks, and I can maybe get out of my chair and you.
And we do bring snacks too. We have snacks.
Well, maybe. Well, maybe I can.
There you go. We'll put a wagon on the back of there.
Yeah.
Are you able to tell us what a traumatic brain injury is and what happened to you?
Very good, very good. Let Mr. Lee talk and then we'll get to you. You got a lot of questions.
Well, that's what it's like. No, so I mean, that's what I spent the afternoon. Because all you do is get into it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's in the full report of what happened to you. I get it. And I can't do this stuff because I developed it. So yeah.
You need the backup gears.
I thought about that, but it's not fun.
No?
No, you don't get that.
I mean, it's not, it's there. It's time consuming.
Okay, that was just one.
So because of all 4 points on the so it's.
Well, let's be a little patient.
I was playing with friends, a kind of war game, the most realistic war game we had ever played.
Yeah, so that I can make them, and then I don't have to do it.
I got hit in the head on the right temple. So much for a realistic game, eh?
So what Lee was saying is he got hit in the head, and it caused a little damage to his brain. So that's what.
Hang on.
Oh, I thought you
I
were.
spent 3 months in a coma. For being bedridden for 13 months, my muscles atrophied and I had to relearn how to feed myself and how to cope with basic physical tasks, including speech. Since this time in my life, I have graduated from high school as a member of the Thespian Society and the National Honor Society, graduated from Edinburgh University in northwestern Pennsylvania with a 3.26 GPA, was going to UB to learn small business administration, and became a published poet as well as playwright and run my own business. The biggest problem I face is from being speech impaired. Many people don't have the patience to let me complete a thought before putting their thoughts in my mouth. Even with a speech output device, the process of expression takes time. It's not always like you have seen on TV. Tell me for the British Commonwealth students out there, I am certain, off camera, it took Stephen Hawking time to compose his messages for his speech device.
good, it was good. Very
We
good.
had questions, I believe.
Questions?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go with you. You'll be patient.
So like, how does he like do like some stuff like he's still trying to do?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I don't know about Lee because I'm not Lee. You have to ask Lee that. Ask Lee that.
So like, how do you like do that stuff? Stuff what you don't know how to like do.
Like what?
Like in the chair, what you like can't usually do.
Don't be nervous. Just, it's specifically, what are you asking?
I mean, like, how does he kind of do some stuff like in the same ways? Of like him or like stabs me or something?
Are you asking how he does something differently?
Yeah.
Which is so important.
Take us out.
That's the support beam holding the roof
I've been working with Mr. Lee for about 15 years. And
Bless you.
I can tell you
Bless
that
you.
there's really nothing that
Bless
you guys can do that he really can't. It's just a different way. So when you ask that question, that's a really complicated question. Because the things that he wants to do maybe might take a few more steps. It might take a little bit longer than, than stuff that you guys do, the way you guys do the stuff that you want to do. But I've never really seen him not be able to accomplish something with some kind of help. If we get a couple more questions, we do have to worry about time because their transportation is coming in about 15 minutes, so we got to make sure that everybody's ready to get picked up, or else the bus is.
All right, so if you got questions, hit us with them now.
Yep.
What do you want?
Can I two questions? Can I have a try in there?
The short answer of that tonight is no, but maybe in a controlled environment one day we can.
What's the last question?
With parents and approval.
Dude, I don't think
The
BSA
last
insurance.
question. What is that thing right there in your shoe? Under your shoe?
Thing by my
The
shoe.
footrest?
Oh, the footrest. Well, see, when you sit in a chair, you should never have your feet dangling, because when your feet dangle, that all the blood goes to your feet, and that's not good for your nerves. So you always have to have a footrest. So these footrests, they go out and up, and they also go back, and they can go up and down. It's just that the mechanic people can't get them to go up and down the right way until next week. But that's what they're for. It's like when you put your feet on anything else. It's just for me something to put my feet on.
They also sort of help you sit in the chair
Yes,
as well.
yes, because I would fall over. Because sometimes you notice I'm pushing myself up.
Yep.
But so they help with that. Any other
Any
questions?
questions? Okay.
Why is it hard for you guys to?
So that's because of our disabilities.
Well,
Because of our other conditions.
yeah. See, when you walk, your brain tells everything in your body what to do. Well, you're very bouncy. Okay. Tells
Put your hands down.
everything from your brain goes to all your muscles Like when you move your leg, your brain is telling you to do that. Well, our brain got hurt and when we were born. So it doesn't know how to make our body work that way. So that makes our muscles tight and they don't bend the way that they should. Because the brain is like, how do I do that? And it doesn't know.
So, like, could that girl, the two of them move fast?
Does this, you are wanting to know about this chair. Yes, this chair moves very fast if I wanted to. If I did that though, I would knock down the church and we don't want to do that.
Oh my.
No, I wouldn't. I'm being funny. I would not. But yes, it goes at different speeds.
Like, fast speed?
5 miles per hour.
It's going, I think mine goes 6. Mine's a little low. But he's got a new chair coming.
Do we have another question?
Another questions? Can we get in pools? Very cool. Yes, we can. I mean, I've never seen Lee get into a pool, so I'm not going to answer that for Lee. Well, we used to have a hot tub, which is kind of better than a pool.
Yeah.
But there's 2 ways I get into a pool. Somebody can kind of push me into the pool.
I wouldn't.
Because I asked them to, or I could use what's called a pool chair. If you ever went to the pool in the summertime, there's a small chair on the outside that I get in and they lower me into the pool. And all public pools that are outside have to be accessible because we have a law called the Americans with Disabilities Act that says that this needs to be the case because somebody was mad, so they said this isn't fair. So now all outside pools need to have that chair so that we can get it. Or in a hotel, if you got a pool in a hotel. Any pool that's outside somebody's house has to have those things. It's not fair if you can't get in it.
Scott.
What's your favorite way to get in the pool?
What's my favorite way to get in a pool? Well, when I was your age and I went to school, our school had a big ramp that we could walk down and get into a really nice warm pool. That was my favorite way to get into the pool. But when I was younger, I used to have some people throw me into the pool just to have fun and a ball.
I used to just do that. Cannonballs along.
Yep. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be able to do that myself because I'd fall backwards, most probably. But somebody can help me do that. Okay. Well, we wanted to thank you guys, and if any of you parents want to get our information, I have a QR code. You can scan it with your phones so that we can give you our information. And if you want to go to our website at ostbwny.com, you can find all our information. We use it as our hub. We'll know when the events are. We would really like you to come out and walk with us and have some fun in the summertime.
Roll with us.
Or roll with us if you got some friends that use wheelchairs as well. You should try to make friends with people with disabilities when you guys go to school. They can, because we can be kind of shy sometimes because we don't know if people are gonna like us, right? So try to make them feel better about themselves by saying, I'll be your friend. It's that easy. It's not that hard. Adults, grown-ups make it way harder than it needs to be. But you're not grown-ups, you're kids, so you don't have to do that.
Thank you guys.
What do we say?
Not yet.
You're welcome.
So,
Which is like harder when you're like younger or like older?
Say that again?
Which part of life is like harder? Like younger or like older?
It depends on who you know, what you go through in life, just like you. you might like it when you get older. You might like it when you're younger. We had the same stuff. It wasn't any different. Oh, we got a parent question. Go ahead.
You mentioned about the pools all being accessible with the chairs, and I've noticed a lot of the playgrounds have been being redone, right?
Yes,
So
that
a
is
good
so
opportunity
nice.
For the kids to maybe introduce themselves to other.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you see people anywhere in the world that have a disability, as long as you do it nice. Now, not everybody in the world is gonna want to talk like us. They don't go out and talk like us all the time. We're not every person with a disability. But if you go up and you talk to people in a nice way and you introduce yourself, most people, just like anybody else, will communicate with you. And they'll like that you're doing that, because sometimes people that don't have disabilities, are afraid. People that have disabilities are afraid that you might look at them different. But if you go up and you say, "Hi, my name is whatever," and talk, that'll make them feel a lot better instead of staying away and afraid all the time.